Is this thing on? Good. Hey there guys, welcome to my first ever live stream train simulator video. In today's live stream, we're on the Great Central Railway to celebrate 50 years of the end of steam. And as you can see right here, I'm driving 70013 Oliver Cromwell all the way down to Leicester North and back. Let's just unpause this simulator. This is our train for today. Oliver Cromwell. BR stand to Britannia Pacific. Now whilst we're waiting, I'll show you another engine over here. See over here, this is 6990 with a slack haul, which will be departing in about an hour's time. It's a Great Western Modified Haul class. And we'll be seeing that on our return trip to Loughborough. In the meantime, let's get ready for departure. Here we go, I think 55% should be enough. Ah, got it. I'm doing this on my gaming laptop instead of a computer. Yeah, that's just to isolate the TPWS, or the AWS. And that's only used when you're on heritage railways, really. You can see here, this footplate of Oliver Cromwell is the same exact one that I've been on 10 years ago, during the 1968 event of the National Railway Museum. That's the whistle right there that I remember sounding. Let's get her set up. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for I'll show you the engine itself. Well, the reason I chose Oliver Cromwell here is because she's the one that did the Farewell to Steam specials 50 years ago. And this is like the first ever Britannia Pacific I've ever seen. The second being the class leader Britannia. You can see I've set this as like a light rain scenario. Despite the weather forecast, right, really. And again, this is my first ever live stream video of Train Simulator. Oh yeah. Okay, see, how many people have I got watching? I've only got one watching. Look, I've got the all clear. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And usually it takes a while for these Britannias to get going. Ah, here we go. The cylinder cocks are now open. Sometimes that doesn't work. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't want to speed too much. Isn't she magnificent? Oh, that's them. Shut up. Oh, spoke too soon about that. Oh, now ready to celebrate 50 years at the end of Steam. Oh yeah, those coaches you see on my right are the Mark 1s, the TPO Mark 1 coaches for the travelling post office, mainly used for the TPO demonstrations. Now you may remember seeing them on my TPO 180 anniversary video that I did a few months ago back in May with the Black 5. I mean, originally I was going to do that with this engine and Mallard, but I decided to go with the Black 5 instead. See how we're doing. By the way, I'm watching the monitoring on my iPad because I don't have a second monitor at the moment. I mean, I don't have a second monitor for this laptop. I mean, I would do this on a computer, but you get what I mean. There we go, and speed's gone up to 25 miles per hour. The top speed for when running on heritage railways. That reminds me. I think one person watching is basically me. I mean, come on, I can't even have myself watching it. It has to be somebody else who is watching. And as you know, I'm already wearing my engine driver's cap again, using it only when I'm driving steam trains. I suppose I've already mentioned this already. I only wear my engine driver's cap when I'm driving steam trains on like rail tours and heritage railways and also excursions. Well, excursions the same way as rail tours, really. And believe me, keeping these engines at 25 miles per hour is not an easy challenge. We've only got 1 mile to go to Quorn, which is our next stop for the journey. I have to use the brakes a lot to control the speed. I would like to apologise for any lag that we may experience on this journey. Or not, but what? Now we've got 2 people watching. Well, one of that's basically me. Let's see how we're doing. Stream health. Stream health is excellent. That's good news. no time for that. I've got to stay focused. Go, we're fine on our final approach to Quorn. Sounding the whistle to let people know I'm coming. Go. You may have noticed already that, well, I'm tending to, you know, approach heritage railway stations at like 10 miles per hour, whereas if I'm on the main line, I would tend to approach at like 30 miles per hour before reducing down to 10. I think that track you see over there, where the car park is where you sometimes get steam engines entering and leaving the heritage railway. Well, that's because steam engines have to come here and depart by a low loader. That's because this line isn't connected to the main line tracks. So that means steam engines have to come in and out by road. Let's bring it to a nice, smooth, gentle stop. For it, and I think this should be the correct stopping point. There we go. Arriving to Quorn. Excuse me while I sort things out. Ah, here we go. Let's see how we're doing with the passengers loading up. Oh, look at that guy half buried on the platform. That's sometimes quite common when you're on Train Simulator. See people half buried on the station platforms. Imagine if this was at York Station. I'd be totally wetting myself if that happened. Look at all these bystanders watching the engine. I've got the all clear. Keep forgetting about the large ejector. Oh, I can see the turntable over there to my left. I mean, when you're on heritage railways, you often see locomotives going back to their destinations backwards, because most of them have no turning facilities like turntables. I mean, if I go to like Pickering Station on the North Yorkshire Moors Railway, I see steam engines depart there like tender first or backwards in case of tank engines. And now we've got 2 miles to go to our next stop, which is Rothley, or Roughly, whatever you want to call it. Pardon me. Well, better up than I always say. And one person just left the stream. That doesn't matter. And again, this is my first time doing this. In the meantime, while we're going away down to Rosewood, let's admire the engine itself. You may notice the overhead warning stickers on it. That's because it's a big engine and can run on the main line. Although if you recall, her main line ticket ran out in March of this year, so that means it's confined to be running on preserved railways until its boiler certificate runs out, which runs for 10 years really. I don't know if this will be enough to raise funds for its upcoming overhaul. Like it so much. Maybe we should change the stream key really, but what do I care? Oh yeah, got a nice view of the back of the engine in this passenger view. Here's Rosalie coming up on the HUD. Now passing through Swiftland sidings. Ah, it's working fine now. Now approaching willfully, which means I have to shut off again. Just in time for the 10-mile-an-hour limit. Again, just like in Crawn. Here we go, another stop before Leicester North. Let's get the passengers on board, or some of them might go off. Here you can see this overhead wire sticker right there. It's covered on also on the boiler cladding and also the tender. Just to warn you when it's running up onto the overhead wires on the national network. We're now going up to our final stop, which is Leicester North, and then it's the return trip to Loughborough. Now you can see I'm downhill a little bit, which means I'm rolling a little bit. See how we're doing extreme wise. Oh, keep forgetting about the speed limit. Now back up to 25 again. Don't know if this is enough to compete with like LaserJet's live stream videos of Train Simulator. I mean, his live streams are awesome. I mean, it's not enough to. Well, mine's not enough with his. And I got down to 2 again. Don't know who else is watching. What's this? What? Like, is this PS4? Oh dear. Alright, here we go, back up to speed again. Pardon me for being quiet, I really need to focus. And according to the HUD, we've got 2 miles to go to Leicester North. I mean, for those of you who are watching this, I might apologise for like the lag you might experience, or the out of sync I think, but let me know what you think anyway. And it's like I already mentioned, keeping this engine at its current speed of 25 is not an easy challenge. Oh, a duck under the low bridge. Oh, suppose you didn't hear that already. The light in my living room just went out. That's because it's on a timer, really. Oh yeah, and FYI, do not play games or watch TV in the dark. I can't imagine the look on people's faces when they see a steam train going by, passing through their houses. Imagine we have little children in their back gardens seeing a steam train going by, and that's something that they'll probably remember for the rest of their lives. Like if they saw a Flying Scotsman going by, like the day it returns to the main line on its inaugural run. I mean, I remember seeing that coming into York. Although despite the delays it had because of like people trespassing on the lines, I would recommend not doing that. I think I'm going downhill a little bit. Let's test to see if the regulator's not needed. Oh, I can see there's a whistle board. You can see it by that W on the circle right over there. Oh, means once we pass that, we have to sound the whistle, just to let people know that we're coming into the station, or probably we're entering a tunnel, or as a signal to other trains. So that means I'm nearly there to Leicester North. I can't imagine the skipper workers seeing a steam train going by, during their work hours. I mean, what would the boss think? I mean, if their boss sees them doing it like that, they'll be like, "Oh, you guys, get back to work. I ain't paying you to do train spotting all day." I mean, you'll probably get an idea. Oh. But the large ejector on again. Guess I'm coming into a station too quick. Oh, you can see that shape over there. Well, we'll probably wait until I stop at Leicester North. Oh, look again. Once again, there's some people half buried on the station platform. I hope you had a good evening if you're living in the UK. Mind you, before this stream I've watched Casualty and also Malcolm in the Middle on Nickelodeon. Well, Casualty is on the BBC. Well, it's on every Saturday night. I mean, I think I remember watching that since I was young. Well, a lot younger. Not long now before we stop. Wait for it, and oh, I hope the passengers didn't feel that. Here we go! Leicester North. While we're unloading the passengers off, I better show you what's there. Over there. Yep, this is number 63601, and Robinson 04 class. I think you'll normally find this engine on this heritage line, and this engine is also owned by the. Well, this locomotive here belongs to the National Railway Museum in York. The same goes for Oliver Cromwell. And the reason I put this here is because, well, 63601's boiler ticket had expired in real life. Okay, uncouple the engine from the coaches for the journey back to Loughborough. Trust me, guys, I know what I'm doing. remember not to crash at the buffers. Oh, well, the reason I'm stopped here is because we're going to go around and couple back up to the coaches for the return trip to Leicester. Which means I have to put the reverser down in the reverse position. I mean, it's not often I get to drive the locomotive's light engine, especially if I'm coupling it up to the coaches. So I'm testing them out, really. You know, whenever I first get them. Do this nice and slow, because, well, this is a delicate task. And the reason I'm doing this slowly is because I don't want to damage the locomotive or the coaches. That should be enough for bashing into the coaches. I mean, if that happens. Ooh. Well, the locomotive nearly came off the tracks, but enough to, even I thought that was enough to derail everything. There you go, all set up for the return journey. I mean, it's not often I get to drive steam engines tender first, like I already mentioned. Let's see, where is it? Oh yeah, I better save just in case. In case I mess up. Now we're all set for the return trip to Loughborough. Oh yeah, I have to keep an eye on the wheels in case of a wheel slip. I mean, last time when I did this, I nearly got the wheels rotating at a fast speed, which nearly was almost like a repeat of the infamous Blue Peter slip, which is occurred when Peppercorn A2 Pacific Blue Peter did like an excursion between like it departed from Durham on an excursion probably down to York, and then I think the driver was trying to control the locomotive by shutting off the regulator and moving the reverser back. But the driving wheels, which rotated at a speed of 140 miles per hour, I think when the reverser lined it forcefully, it basically broke the driver's arms in the process. I mean, it took them 18 months to repair the locomotive, for the damages. Oh yeah, I did shut the large regulator off. Because it's now up to me to bring Oliver Cromwell home. Let's see how we're doing. I mean, driving tender first is not easy, because you don't know what's a... I mean, this is what I sometimes hate about going backwards, because you don't know what's ahead of you. If you wonder what I'm doing, I'm trying to keep the engine at the speed of 25 miles per hour. It's not easy like I already mentioned. Keep it between 20 and 25 miles per hour at all times. I think that should be enough. I mean, that's not enough to keep that 25 miles per hour. What will? Now we're coming up to Rothley, or Rothley, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's Rothley again that we saw earlier. Oh yeah, while we're doing that, with this like call has to like wait for its actual departure time. Not to mention it's using more and more water. I mean, if that was in real life, it'd be like a kettle boiling dry. Oh, I don't want to stop prematurely. Well, the passengers would be wondering what is going on. We're not there. Can't be there yet. And they might thought that we've broken down or something, which is not good for this anniversary. That's what we don't want, isn't it? happened here? No! No, my God! Player train derailed? Oh, come on! I was nearly there! Oh, I don't know what happened here. Maybe it might have something to do with the bump I did with the coaches earlier. Oh, I might think about doing that next time. Until then, peace.